Capricorn, this is your weekly reading for January 31st through February 6th. Welcome. Welcome, and how are you doing today? So this is the first video for the zodiacs that I have done, the first round of videos that I am going to start doing for weekly and monthly and possibly other astrological events like new moons, full moons, and eclipses. You know, the powerful ones. I'm not doing like first quarter, third quarters, and wanings and waxing and stuff like that. That's not me. So anyway, I'm just shuffling this deck here, but if you don't know who I am, my name is James. I'm an intuitive tarot reader amongst many other things that I'm credentialed in. But currently I'm reading for tarot cards, so let's just go with that one. I do have a degree up here. It's a non-secular PhD in metaphysics. I'm not sure if people can actually see it, but I just thought it looked good on the wall behind me. Not really doing it for ego reasons, I guess. This is actually the first video that I'm mentioning it in, which is kind of weird, but whatever. I'm just going to shuffle these really quick. I got two tarot decks here. One for clarifying, one for the actual read. And I got a Moonology deck for Oracle cards. Moonology, I will probably be using these most of the time for Oracle deck cards. I do have other decks though, other Oracle decks that I can use. But this one I resonate with the most. I can get more information out from them. So I'm going to go ahead. It's a great card to have right off the bat, man. No ideas moving forward. Okay, so already love this right off the bat. I got a couple of the same cards from the previous reading. All right, so for the theme, so basically what it is this card over here that was laying by itself. This is the overall theme for the week. All right, these other cards are kind of like events or happenings that could have already happened leading up to this week that have an influence on this week, or it could be starting this week or the week after, somewhere around there. You know, timing is super fluid. It's not fixated. So, and it depends on the person as well, what they're going through and how easily they move through their energy and how they're moving along. But anyway, Capricorn. I think I said Capricorn in the beginning. It looks like your theme for the week is the sun. So this is a very positive card. Definitely one of the most positive, if not the most positive card in the deck. And I say that for a good reason. If you've been feeling kind of like things have not been working out very well, or in kind of like a lower state of mind or being, maybe you haven't, maybe you have, but if you have, just know that that energy is turning around this week, because the sun represents happiness, joy, fulfillment, things being illuminated that can actually create that happiness. So, you know, certain things may come to light, ideas or events that actually bring a lot of happiness for you. So just know that the theme for this week is a very, very great one, and I'm very happy to see that for Capricorn. So anyway, moving on. Page of Swords and the Knights of Swords. All right, I look at this, not always, but I do look at this in this current reading as if a new idea is coming to you. And it's very much new because the page represents someone who is very youthful and kind of like fresh in like the royal suits. Because you got the page, the knights, which is weird because you have the Page of Swords and the Knight of Swords. So it looks like someone's going to be bringing you an idea, and it's something that you're going to be moving fast with, right? You're going to take it and you're going to run with it, because the Knight of Swords represents something that definitely fast movement. This and the Chariot are two, well, Chariot can be pretty fast. Knight of Swords and also the Eight of Wands are pretty much the faster card, like the fast movement cards in the deck. So just don't be impulsive here, though, because the swords can represent being a little bit impulsive about it. But if it feels right to you, I say go for it, honestly. Just be aware of this idea or this this news coming in for you, okay? That's kind of like what I'm getting here. But you're going to run with it. This could be playing into... because what's funny is, okay, you do have the Page of Swords and the Ace of Swords here in a different column, but it still plays the same concept. The Ace of Swords represents a new decision. So the Three of Wands here in this second column is, and I'll clarify these columns just to give a little more information on it. Expansion, waiting for this opportunity to come in. So something that you've been waiting on, it looks like it's an idea or a decision to be made that you're going to wind up going forward with. And that's basically it's almost like a double message here. So if you feel like things have not been moving forward, just know that you're about to gain clarity on how to move forward. That's what this card represents here, right? Which is amazing because we all want clarity. I went through a really long period of time about the clarity about where I was supposed to head, because I've been going through a lot of education, spiritual, metaphysical education, and not so spiritual, metaphysical, but more in alignment with health and quantum physics. And I'm like, what am I doing all these things for? Where is the culmination of all this going to come into play? But really, I think it just adds more knowledge base and more experience to my mindset, right? So when I talk about things, I can talk from a place of confidence and surety that what I'm saying is truthful and coming from a place of educational background. But anyway, the whole point is clarity here. Moving forward, taking things and going for it, right? So, and that's kind of like what this card's saying too. The Ten of Wands here, maybe you've been having a pretty rough time in regards to, things kind of piling up, but it looks like you're ready to pack up and go, whether that's literally go somewhere or you're just pack up and move on with your life in general. Because the extended card here is the Seven of Wands. You may kind of have felt like things have been sort of against you, right? So that kind of plays off the Ten of Wands here. And my previous reading actually had this in a different spot. But, you may have felt like there have been things that were against you. People were against you. Businesses were against you. Life in general could have been feeling like you were against you. You were having to stand up for yourself, right? And it's like it's created a lot of burden. And I kind of feel like this row over here is kind of like a row of, or a column over here is kind of like a column of what the energy is moving out of. And that's generally what I feel like whenever I'm reading for the different signs. So just know that the burdens are being lifted. You are moving out of this kind of troublesome time period. You got opportunity coming to you. And it seems like this week is the opportunity week and movement. But happiness is the overall call here. Okay. Oh, Knight of Swords again. That's crazy. Wow. Yeah. So you've definitely been through some pretty tough times here. I know a lot of us have been, given the circumstances, but not all of us have been through extremely rough times. But as a collective, we are being pushed to evolve and move out of our comfort zones, get out of our current situations that are no longer serving us anymore. People need to focus on growth. We've been focused on stagnation, basically, and being stuck in energy that no longer serves us. Okay, so let's see here. The Lovers is the clarifying card. And I'm wondering if this is actually referring to, an actual connection in your life with this idea coming in, or this news that's coming in through this connection. Or this could be the start of a new connection here, right? So if someone comes into your life with presenting you something, whether news, an idea, or wanting to get together, and you're having the Knight of Swords here, or even if you already in a relationship and that relationship is ready to move on to somewhere else, physically even, because of news that's coming in, and you guys are going to be moving forward fast. Trying to remain ambiguous here, because I'm having multiple ideas coming to my mind that could be pertaining to different people. So keep that in mind. Yeah, a Knight of Swords again. So definitely going to be a lot of fast forward movement happening, a lot of decisions being made, a lot of analysis or analytical happenings going on, right? So decisions, ideas, fast forward movement because of what's coming in for you. So be mindful of that. Be ready to be prepared to move forward on this next adventure that's going to happen. And then the Nine of Wands, almost said swords. This dude has been through a lot, right? He's got 9 wands, barely hanging on to that one, but he's at the final stand here. He's ready to move on. He's ready to go. He's been through way too much already, and he's just ready to let go. And that's what the Ten of Wands represents. You got the Nine of Wands and the Ten of Wands. Nine of Wands is like ready to get to this point, right? Because the tens always represent like, yeah, you may have had to accumulate a lot of heaviness, burdens, like things that just weigh you down. But tens always represent an ending, closure, movement out of this phase of life into something different. But ultimately, like the Nine of Wands does represent someone, yeah, you may have been kind of like wounded in battle per se, not literal battle, or it could be literal battle. You could have had some sort of injury that happened, but you're ready to move on. And it represents someone who has gained the skills, the knowledge, the fortitude, the inner fortitude to be able to move forward, to withstand like that final stand that's going on. Time of healing, communication is key. Work through your fears. Okay, I don't really have any other fearful cards that are coming up, but yeah, so whether physically, mentally, or emotionally, you're going through a time of healing right now. And I think that this opportunity will come in once the healing is generally almost over or is over for you, depending on how your life plays out. But just know that this is a time of healing for you. You may be coming into some sort of rest. Maybe you haven't had feelings of happiness in a while, and it finally comes in and you're like, wow, I haven't experienced this in quite some time. That's where the healing comes from, right? If you're stuck in a lower vibrational thinking, the negativity is always surrounding you in this dark cloud, then of course you're not going to be happy about it. Moving out of that though, releasing these burdens, that happiness can come in. That's probably where the happiness is going to come in from. All right, look out for any communications going on. This is a Gemini card, New Moon in Gemini. So this obviously represents the mental aspect, ideas, news, and it definitely could be coming from another person. I think that that's just playing off of what's already been said. So it's like double confirmation. And I love seeing that, even though it could be a little redundant, but it's great when that happens that way, because it's basically just reconfirming or reaffirming that yes, there is something that's going to come in for you, some kind of news, some sort of communication that's going to help you move forward. Work through your fears. New Moon in Scorpio. So Scorpio is already a very transformative sign, all right? If you could be having any fears about moving forward or moving on from something, just know that that's something that you'll have to work on. It's tough. I know that it might suck, but ultimately, if you want something new to come into your life, or you want to change your life, but you're too afraid to move forward on it, essentially you will have to work through that fear in order to get to that point. And the new moon represents a new beginning. So you got two new moons here, some sort of news, some sort of new internal transformation, because fear is an internal source, right? If you move through that internal fear, your external reality and your behaviors to accommodate the action to change your external reality will happen. Anytime I get this card, it always rings true for me, every time. Yeah, it hit my forehead. It always rings true for me, because at that time I will have some fears that are coming up, whether they involve relationships, moving forward on a new adventure, or just letting go of something that no longer serves me. You have to release those fears. So I believe that summarizes the reading here, Capricorn. I really hope that you enjoyed this reading and it resonates with you. I do offer one-on-one readings. I don't know if I've said that in the beginning. If I did, I'm sorry for being redundant. But one-on-one readings, down in a link below. If you would like to support this channel to help me grow and expand, please do so. I have other stuff in the description box below as well. But anyway, have a good one.